Good.
All right, guys, good morning. Welcome. This is Top Tier Talk for February 18th. Hope you guys had a good weekend. And yeah, today we're going to kind of wrap up talking about the transition to the new marketing system. Okay, we don't want to beat a dead horse, but we want to make sure that everybody's transitioned over and everything's going according to plan, because at this point you really should be using the new system and not the old system anymore. But we're going to start off with kind of our little motivational or mindset moment, and then we'll talk kind of more nuts and bolts about the system, answer your questions, and we'll kind of see where the meeting goes from there. But for our mindset moment, this was a pretty good one by Tony Robbins, who's probably the most famous contemporary personal growth guy. The path to success is to take massive, determined action, and nothing can be more true, I guess, particularly when it comes to performance-based business like ours. We talk about taking massive action and the need to take massive action, and maybe we don't always spell it out for you. I know we have in the past, but if you're new and haven't gone through our hundreds of hours of archived Top Tier Talks yet, but it's one thing to I think we all take massive action initially to get started with the business, right? It's a big decision, right? To invest in yourself by purchasing the business to make your lifestyle ultimately better. But then there's another massive action. Then after you do that, right? There's another massive action, and that is plugging into the team, continuing to learn so that you can get better and better at the fundamentals that are required to make money with the business, and ultimately placing the ads, doing everything that's required to have the success that you're looking for. And part of that is just plugging into the team, staying connected. Part of that is advertising. A lot of that is advertising, actually, and then then you have the follow-up. So it all kind of ties together in what is required to have success with our business. Guys, why don't you jump in? I figured I'd start us off there.
Well, it says massive, determined action, and from that I get you need to determine what you are going to do and do it. And shotgun approaches don't normally work. Focusing what you're doing in a determined manner to accomplish what your objectives are is critically important. And I stay very consistent with what I do marketing wise. I know John does. I know Steve does. And the ones here that are successful, keep at it all the time. And, when things don't work, and sometimes things, let's just face it, they don't work. You can't give up. You got to keep at it. So be determined with your actions to accomplish what your objectives are. So I have a plan. That's the other part of being determined. Have a plan for what you want to accomplish, and have that not only in mind but on your mind all the time. So, John, do you have something to add to that?
Yeah. The more obviously prospects you get this business in front of, the more potential sales you have. So that's almost like an axiom. The reverse corollary would be the least amount of people you get this in front of, your sales go down proportionally. And I think we explained in several other training calls that you should be somehow generating 100 leads a month. And it's not hard to do that between purchasing leads from our exclusive warehouse and Craigslist ads or any type of ads. It could be magazine ads, newspaper ads. USA Today is in our back office as a potential, Craigslist ads, and even occasional warm market people. My goal always is, okay, this month I'm going to do, I want to get this business potentially, I want to generate 100 leads. That's my massive action. And I want to be able to interview or send to get educated, whatever method you're using, at least 25 a week. 25 times 4 is 100. And that consistently makes me 3, sometimes 5 sales in a month. And maybe the next month I only make 1, but it averages out 3 or 4. And of course, with 3 or 4 sales in this business, if they were all $2,000 sales, that's still $6 to $8 grand a month, which for most people would be more than they're making in a regular job. So if you know that the definition in this business of massive action would be to generate 100 leads a month by hook or crook, however you do that, doesn't really matter. We've got some people that are extremely creative that just use YouTube videos and generate the leads. And some people define a lead as an instant message into their Facebook. If you've got 455 Facebook friends, you could send a instant message to some of those people or all those people and try to get it in front of them. But if you've got the massive determined action numbers in your mind, generate 100 leads a month, try to get as many of those to the live webinar to your website, and if you're interviewing them, to interview them and set up follow-up Q&As, because we said the statistic on that on our 3-step system is we do those for you. So take advantage of the fact that it's a free service. I can always tell the people who are about to do good on how many times they sort of call me or their sponsor to have a 3-way call. And if you're not doing 7 to 10 3-way calls with an upline, your sponsor or VIP, that's not really, in my opinion, massive action. Now you're going to get lucky to make a sale. So this is a very important mindset datum to know what the massive action is. Now I'm about to apply this in a big way. I found something that for maybe 4 or 5 months, I'm going to put out 50 to 100,000 emails in a different type of system to pilot and try out. But that's just another creative sideline thing to try to get more massive action, more massive determined action, because the more people that come through the funnel and get educated, that I have follow-up Q&As, the more sales I make. So like Michael said, you should have a plan. And I think you should also have an income goal. I want to make 72 grand this year, or I want to make 100 grand this year, which is 8 grand a month. And for 8 grand a month, I need to have 3 sales. Have that stuff written down so you know what kinds of massive determined action to take.
Yeah, I think, two points I want to make to that. One is, we always start people off on Craigslist and our lead warehouse, but there are other ways to market. Me personally, I run an ad in a magazine every month, that's gotten me, a bunch of sales and, a great return on investment, so there's creative ways to do it. And like John said, he's doing something else. I don't even know what it is, quite frankly, but he's going to be doing something else. I'm looking at a couple of other things as well, ringless voicemail, postcards. So there's lots of different strategies, stuff that will fit any budget, right? As long as you have some budget, obviously. And the other thing I wanted to mention, massive determined action, also applies to follow-up, and I think follow-up's probably a training in and of itself, but, I just want to throw this out there that I think a lot of people forget to follow up with their prospects, so it's that initial focus on lead generation, and you talk to them or whatever you do, and then nothing maybe happens after that. And, I think we even say it in our presentation that people need to see an offer 7 to 12 times. I mean, this is proven from marketing studies before they make a purchase, Now, obviously, that's not everybody. That's an average. But, so follow-up is definitely key. Yes, you have your autoresponders that are going to go out, and with the new system, it does seem like they're doing a pretty good job hitting the inbox. But you need to use the broadcaster too, and you need to send out creative emails to your prospects. And, the better you get at doing that and the more consistent you are with doing that, I would say 2 to 3 a week minimum. Okay. Just to keep your name and keep your name in front of your prospects and keep the opportunity in front of your prospects. Because as much as we want to believe that they're thinking about signing up every single minute of every single day, they are not, right? They get off the phone and they go on and do their own thing. It doesn't mean that they're not interested. It just means that they're doing other stuff because that's what they're used to doing. So staying in front of your prospects is essential. And, some people text, some people phone call, but definitely use the broadcaster too, take advantage of that feature of the marketing system to, to try to hit different potential buying buttons of your prospects.
Yeah, I'd say 70% or more of my sales would not have happened without the follow-up. I mean, I think it's wishful thinking to think that you're going to do an interview, send them to the thing, and live happily ever after. They're going to just call you up and take advantage of the buy now thing and just sign up. That happens occasionally, but most of the sales that I make, I do have to work for them. I have to continue, to develop the rapport through a lot of different ways, like Steve mentioned. When you start sending out broadcaster manual ones, you're inadvertently branding yourself depending on what you say. And I know Steve and probably Michael too, we're on various other lists, and I purposely stay on these lists of other online internet marketers in other businesses, some of them competing, some of them not, just to see their brand and what they say, and it gives me ideas when I go to send out my man. I'll go, oh, that is a really good thing that Joe Blow just sent me. I think I'm going to take that idea and make a blast to my people. And you're branding yourself. And I've had sales, and I know other people have too, that have been on my list for a year and a half, 5 months, and they probably enjoy getting, oh, there's another thing from John Novello. I wonder what that says. And maybe one of them, the 31st one, has a buy now offer, special holiday discount or something in there, and he's liking me at this point. Bingo, I make a sale, and I would have never made that sale otherwise.
Yep. So, we're giving you a bunch of different kind of nuggets, but, a few of them deserve to have their own, their own training, and we will do that in upcoming weeks. But let's move on. Anything else on this? Let's move on to our marketing system because I'll just log in here. It's fine. This is you should be transitioned over by now. If you're not already, you should be, or you should do that. Let me go to the training site too. And I know we've been talking about this the last couple of weeks, so I don't want to really harp on it too much. But we were still getting questions last week about confusion, particularly with domain forwarding. No, I'm not really sure if everybody's watching this video here, but the video is pretty clear on what to do.
Watch the video, for God's sakes. Watch the video. It's good.
One thing I will tell you is this is set up for new people. So for you guys that are transitioning from the old system to the new system, what you need to do is delete whatever's there before you put the new information in GoDaddy, okay? Because we did have at least one situation where, the person just appended it, and that's just a mistake. It's because it's not in the video, obviously, but you want to delete whatever you have there and put the new stuff there.
Let's just make sure everybody understands what your username is too. We had an issue with that.
Yes. Yes.
So what we recommend when you set new people up, we highly recommend using the same username for Titum, for the PNG marketing system,
Everything,
training site. But if you don't, and some people don't, then the username that we're asking for here is the one that you have in your marketing system. Period. That's the only one that'll work. If you try to use something different, the leads are going to go to admin every time, and if we can't figure out where they're supposed to go, then it's a loss to you. So double check and make absolutely certain your username is your username. If you don't know what it is, ask us.
Well, here I want to show you how you can do that. You log into your marketing system, go to Pages.
Right.
Doesn't matter what one you click on the first one.
There it is right there.
You see my screen in the address bar? This is your username.
Correct.
Yeah. So this says, for example, PN admin. Okay, that's the admin account's username. So that's, if you're not sure what your username is, that's a simple way to figure it out. And yeah, like Michael said, make sure when you're doing your forwarding in GoDaddy that you're using that username.
Now, and it may not be what you think it is. Like some people go to their Titum thing and grab that. Well, if everything is the same and you did what Michael said, and you used your initial Titum username for PNG and for everything else, it is. But when you signed up and paid your $24.95 a month at Prosperity, PNG, that's the one that you need to use.
No. The one that they enter when they sign up in the marketing system is the one they need to use.
Well, usually that's the one for PNG.
Usually, but we had one over the weekend that was totally
not always. Like it does say here, this is step one, right? This is the fast start. This is important too, because there is a little confusion. Okay, so make sure you know the main marketing sites, the main sites that we have. But step one, get your PNG marketing system. So you've already paid your $24.95. You've already registered for the training site, and you've been approved to get to this point. But when you register here, see, it says here important. You must register using your Titum username. That does happen most of the time. So good job, but not always. So just make sure that
you're frozen.
I am?
Nope, you're good to me. John's frozen.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we'll go on. John will figure that out. The only thing, well, maybe there's a couple of things, I'm not really sure, but if you're integrating with Aweber, and it's not a lot of people, but it is me, and Michael and John, and I know Corey does, and a few other people. But if you are integrating with Aweber, the tracking, I think we mentioned this last week, the tracking still isn't working correctly at all, actually. So, if you're using those tracking codes and you're trying to track your marketing and you're integrated with Aweber, I think it's going to show you the clicks, but it's not.
It shows as no tracking in your statistics. And to be honest, I disconnected my Aweber, and I'm using the system now. It works perfectly. So, and I'm going to continue doing it this way until we get the tracking figured out with third party.
So for most of you, this is a non-issue. Most of you are not using Aweber. So, just disregard what I'm talking about. If you are using Aweber, just understand that the tracking's not working
right
now, but we know it does work, so it will work.
Like,
let me show you, just because I just mentioned it, and I think we talked about this too, but I just said it's important, I think, to send out broadcast emails. And this is how you can send an email. See this little box that says broadcast? This is how you can send an email to all of your prospects, all of the people on your list at the same time. Okay. You can just type in your subject line, type in the body of your message. Click this little check all box. I'm going to uncheck. I'm not going to send anything. And you have an opportunity to preview it. I do recommend you always preview your emails. This is a feature that I'm not sure we had on the old system, but
we did. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's always a good idea to do that, just to check for typos, check for, whatever. So always do that first and then send out the email.
Highly suggest you copy everything in the body of the email to your clipboard in case you inadvertently move from one thing to another and lose all your work.
Yes. Good idea. I'm not sure what the timeout setting is for, but it seems pretty quick. So that's a good idea.
Or write your email blast in a text format someplace else and then just paste it in, one or the other.
That's what I always do. I always write them somewhere else and then copy and paste them into the system that way, because I've been had many times before I decided I'm not doing it that way anymore.
Oh man, I had a glorious blast that took me 25 minutes and I lost the whole thing.
Yep. If you want to pretty up your emails with pictures, you can upload pictures from your computer. Okay.
And when you do that, by the way, they stay in your library so that you can use them again later if you decide to.
Where's a good picture? Yeah, this looks good. I don't know what this is, but let's see. And then you just do insert. And there's the picture.
And you can resize it by grabbing it so you don't have to be stuck with it.
Yep. So if you highlight the picture, you can make it smaller. Okay. Just little tricks. You can put a picture of yourself underneath the signature. Good idea. I know I have my picture on all my emails for better or for worse. Yeah. So is everybody transitioned over? Does anybody have any questions? Are you like, what transition are you even talking about?
That's why you should watch that video, guys, and then if you have problems, contact your sponsor.
Yeah, and if you're a sponsor and you don't know what we're talking about, then get yourself up to speed. But I think everybody on this call is probably transitioned over. Probably people that are watching on the recording that are not. Does anybody have any questions? Is everybody all set up and everything's working the way they expected it to?
I guess we can take that as a yes.
We'll take
go back to the pages one more time. The ones that are on the Fast Start are there, but for anybody that wants to be creative, they did a good job, Steve and Michael here, on showing you the routing. So you can experiment. If you like this web page or you see it goes to 54, or you want this one because it does this, screw around with it, write it down, and then go into GoDaddy, and you can either change your existing one or, like what we do, come up with another domain. I must have, 8 domains, and so I know which one that domain does what funnel. So if you want to get more advanced and creative, then this stuff is all laid out for you to grab different funnels and create your own funnels.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to deal with it, you don't have to. But if you want to deal with it, it's a lot clearer and better laid out than we had in the old system. I also did add to the Fast Start. Links to the 48-hour bonus page and the How It Works written overview. Use them or not, they're extra pages, but I put the links there for you if you do want to use them. For those of you that this is a little confusing or whatever. I mean, the main focus should be your 5-step page. We have all these websites for various functions because they help, but just understand that your capture page and your 5-step page are the primary tools for your business. Okay, we're a little quiet this morning. All right. Promise next week we're not talking about the marketing system at all. So we are business as usual. But just wanted to kind of give this one last meeting for people to be able to ask questions. So it does sound like everybody is all set up and ready to go. So good deal.
Sounds like it. Okay.
All righty. Make it a great week.
Take care.
Folks. Bye.
Take care.